Hi everybody, it's Az here from Heel vs Babyface. Now over the course of the next 24 hours, patch 5.2 is eventually going to hit the live servers all around the world. Now then, in this video I'm literally going to pull apart its content piece by piece and give you my honest, constructive and fingers crossed amusing at times opinion on what I think of the content and whether or not it's actually worth your time and effort. Well, the first big addition to patch 5.2 is the Throne of Thunder 13 boss raid instance, and this will be available straight away on release, unless of course you only do looking for raid, in which case you'll go on a week's delay and it'll actually be brought out in increments of 4 3-boss segments. Now the mathematicians amongst you would have worked out that 3 times 4 is in fact 12 and not 13. That's because the 13th and special boss is called Ra-Den, and Ra-Den is classed as a heroic only boss, therefore only guild raiders will have the opportunity to do so, and because of its difficulty I feel that only the top end guilds will have the opportunity to actually play with this. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing at all. Lord knows they need something to do to keep themselves occupied, but we mere mortals will end up fighting this chappie here, Lei Shen, commonly known as the Thunder King, in a fight that I can only describe as, oh my lord, punishing. When we did this on the PTR, he crushed us time and time and time again. It was monumental fun and I can't wait to tackle it on the live servers. But don't worry, there are plenty of other fantastic boss fights here in the raid as well. We've got massive dire horns to fight. We've got ugly looking blobby eyed creatures. There's all manner to say everybody's needs just be coordinated. Now the Isle of the Thunder King brings with it 3 brand new factions, if you can actually call them that. They're basically reworkings of factions we should already be exalted with on our main characters, namely the Kirin Tor, the Sun Reavers and also the Shadow Pan. They've simply added a word to the end of each, so it's become the Kirin Tor Offensive, the Sun Reavers Onslaught and the Shadow Pan Assault. But that aside, it's actually the daily quests on the Isle of the Thunder King that interest me a lot, and they all start with a decision to make. Do you do PvE based quests or do you do PvP based quests? Now people who are on a PvE server, beware. If you select the PvP quests, you will get flagged for PvP combat regardless. But depending on your decision also depends on the reward that you receive. If you get PvE based questing, you'll get Valor points. If you get PvP questing, you'll get Conquest and Honor points. Be sure to check out your respective quartermasters though, as they'll all be selling item level 522 gear that you can snag with your Valor points. But if daily questing isn't for you, maybe rarely killing is. And the Isle of the Thunder King comes with plenty. In actual fact, there are 11 in total around this small little island. 10 of them contribute towards the Champions of Lei Shen achievement. The 11th and the sneakily hidden one can actually drop an item called Ra Shah's Dagger that will allow you to kill yourself in game. Great for emos, great for RPers. Now the way that rare elites are actually tagged now has changed too. If a member of your faction hits it, you can join in the fight and also contribute to getting loot, which is now given on an individual basis. But if you join in, the rare elite will get tougher, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. You'll always get a book that grants you 15 Valor points, so if you are Valor capped, hold on to it and do it after the reset. You can also get yourself one of those Shanzi ritual stones that if you get enough, you can summon big powerful creatures all around the island. There is in fact a weekly quest that you can do using Shanzi ritual stones, where if you kill 3 of these special creatures, you'll actually bag yourself 150 Valor points. But what you really want to see is something called Key to the Palace of Lei Shen. If you find one of those, hand it into Tao Shi, and she will allow you to participate in a single player scenario called Troves of the Thunder King. And the objective here is to loot, loot, loot and more loot. In actual fact, you can find some wonderful things inside, ranging from Elder Charms of Good Fortune to Motes of Harmony. You can also find more Shanzi ritual stones inside of here, and pieces of parchment that you can hand in to gain rep with your respective faction. But if you find yourself a burial trove key, when the scenario ends, you can unlock one of the special chests that are scattered around, and there is an opportunity to get yourself some epic gear inside, although I've yet to do so. But one of these runs will bag you easily between 3 to 600 gold a run. You may even be lucky enough to get to the end and get a couple of achievements. Now, it's not the only single player scenario made available. The Isle of the Thunder King is broken up into 5 different stages. Your arrival, your assault on the actual ground to set up a base, Stage 3, where you assault the outside walls of the outer levels of the Throne of Thunder. Stage 4, where you start assaulting the inside of the outside of the Throne of Thunder. And then, I know, quite complicated. Finally, Stage 5, which is assaulting the courtyard. That will open up the door to the Throne of Thunder Raid instance itself. But that doesn't stop you from participating in it beforehand, because there is a sneaky little entrance in the sewer below. But I much prefer single player based scenarios to 3-person scenarios. It feels more intimate. You feel way more attached to the actual scenario and the storyline itself. The Isle of the Thunder King, though, is beautiful in an eerie and disturbing manner. Its architecture is decrepit but beautiful at the same time. You'll probably feel more connected to this island than you do to Pandaria. There's some very similar looking aesthetics. Sometimes it looks like Silver Pine Forest. Sometimes it looks like Tol Barad. There is something very Azerothian about this place that makes you feel a little bit more at home. But if vibrancy and colours are more your thing, there is another isle to the east. And this is called the Isle of Giants. And on the Isle of Giants, we see a plethora of prehistoric creatures. It's situated just off the north coast of Zauchi province in Kun-Lai summit, and there is all manner of little secrets here. Firstly, hunters. There are some Zandalari that are scattered around the place. If you kill them, they have the chance to drop a tome that will allow you to tame these wonderful dire-horned beasts that come in all manner of different colours. But it's not just hunters that can have fun here. If you kill the dinosaurs, they have the opportunity to drop a nice little egg. This egg will hatch after 3 days, and you can get yourself an assorted colour raptor. They also drop dinosaur bones. The larger the dinosaur, the more bones it will drop, but the more people you will need to help you kill it. Hold on to the dinosaur bones, because there are secrets here as well. There is a cave, and inside this cave we have a mutated troll. That could be any troll in my eyes, but this is a specific mutated troll. If you hand in the dinosaur bones to this beast, then you can get yourself some little goodies, whether it be gold, spirits or motes of harmony, a spectral little porcupine pet, or a nice white raptor mount. But the Isle of Giants is very much like the Isle of the Thunder King. You cannot fly here, and that makes it a very dangerous place indeed. Thankfully, depending on whether or not you're the Horde Alliance, you do have friends on the isle to lend you a helping hand. You can purchase disguises off them that will transform you into a dinosaur, but do be careful. You may look like one of them, but my goodness, you do not smell like one of them, and if you get too close, they will have at you. But there is a much bigger secret on the Isle of Giants, and that secret is called Undasta, who is one of the brand new world bosses introduced into patch 5.2 and still remains undefeated on the PTR. The second one is more in line with the Shah of Anger, and this is Nalak. And Nalak is going to be the loot pinata for 5.2. He will drop both the gloves and the legs, item level 522 of your respective new tiers, as well as loads of new PvP stuff as well. Both raid bosses will also drop a mount, so before you tackle them, you may want to visit the Charm Maker in your respective city in Pandaria, because they're no longer offering Elder Charms of Good Fortune as a reward. Instead, she'll reward these Mogu Runes of Fate, and these act as your second chance in getting bonus loot from raid bosses and the 2 new world bosses for any 5.2 content. But Warlocks, I have something very special for us indeed. The rare elites back on the Isle of the Thunder King can drop another item. And this item is the starting item for our quest to get Green Fell Flame. But don't think this is going to be an easy task by any stretch of the imagination. Our quest will take us to Outland, where we have to complete various tasks. Should we complete these tasks, we'll be sent off to the Black Temple in Shadowmoon Valley, where we'll have to participate in one of the toughest single player scenarios I've ever done in my life. I think only a few are going to manage to succeed, because the final fight against Canrathad is really, really difficult. But if you do defeat him, you can siphon the fell energies from his body, and suddenly all your regular fire spells will be converted into beautiful green flame. You, my son, and my daughter could be the stuff of legends. And speaking of legends, Rathian is back in patch 5.22 with some more gubbins for us if we want to get our legendary. And this time he'll be sending us off to the Throne of Thunder to get the Thunder King's heart, as well as other stuff. And if I'm not very much mistaken, isn't that the wrestler in the jacuzzi? Oh, come on, there's always time for a jacuzzi watch. But if we manage to do all that he asks once more, then he'll gift us with a legendary meta gem. And when I say the word legendary, believe me, I'm not joking. They are absolutely off the hook good. There's also been some rare elites added to Pandaria itself. In the outside provinces, therefore not Vale of Eternal Blossoms or Valley of the Four Winds, you will find a big Zandalari and also little Zandalari rare elites. The ones that are based on top of the Direhorns, you need a party to kill. The single scouts which patrol the area, you can pretty much kill solo, or definitely with the addition of one other person. They drop some very interesting items indeed. You get your loot bags. You can also get these reputation tags that are banged on account, so you can send them off to different alts and gain rep with them. But if you're even luckier, then one of the 5-person bosses has the opportunity to drop one of 3 different Direhorn mounts. But don't panic if you don't get one. Get exalted with either the Kirin Tor or Sunreavers, and you'll be able to purchase one from your respective quartermaster. The tillers also undergo some changes too. You can acquire the farm from Farmer Yoon. This will open up work orders for you to get various amounts of rep for different factions by planting crops for them. You can also use the house as an inn and use it as a place that you can actually get your Hearthstone to. The cynic inside of me though says they're only trying to make some use for the portal shards, which are absolutely defunct at the moment. Planting crops has also been made a lot easier in patch 5.2 as well. Go to the vendor. You no longer have to purchase your seeds individually. You can buy them in packs, and each pack contains 10 charges. You have this ring, simply place it over the tilled soil and then let rip, and you'll have 4 of them placed at exactly the same time. It definitely makes things a whole lot quicker. What it doesn't do though is make my garden that's so overgrown not look like a 1970s lady's underpants. And on that note, let's go to the Darkmoon Fair, because they've also changed the reward system for when you complete your daily quest. You'll now get a nice little satchel. Complete the quest, open the satchel, you might find some extra goodies inside, like this Darkmoon hat, which will also increase your reputation and experience by 10%, although I wouldn't go near any flammable objects. In actual fact, I think my head's just about to blow off. And speaking of heads getting blown off, PvP Season 13 is upon us as well, bringing with it a whole new set of tyrannical PvP gear. In fact, Blizzard have made a lot of changes to the way that gear is distributed in PvP in an effort to try and make it a little bit more accessible and a little bit fairer for all. But one thing they don't seem to have taken into account when it comes to PvP is the changes to all the classes' abilities. Abilities have been added, abilities have been tweaked, and abilities have been taken away. And on the PTR for patch 5.2, there's absolutely no doubt that certain classes are absolutely dominating the PvP environment, going totally unchecked. Expect plenty of tears in the PvP forums. But that's not it. There's also a lot more content added to patch 5.2 as well. We've got brand new crafts. We've got the Thunder Forge that's going to allow blacksmiths to do some amazing things as well. There are new pets that have been added, new mounts that have been added. There is so much to enjoy. So is patch 5.2 a good patch? No, it's not. Patch 5.2 is an excellent patch. Mr. Pandaria has so far been going at a very slow pace, and I feel that's more in line with Blizzard trying to elongate subscriptions rather than take pressure off players about doing content. Patch 5.2 is the adrenaline shot in the arm that it's really needed, and if you can't find something here to enjoy, then you're simply playing the wrong game. So in conclusion, how would I rank it? Well, I'd have to give Mr. Pandaria patch 5.2 8.5 out of 10. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but my god, it is a huge step in the right direction. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter and also like my Facebook, and I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. Happy patch 5.2. Bye bye.